everybody, how are you doing? Hi, if you've never been here before, my name is Bryn. If you have, I apologise. I'm so sorry, but I am back once again with another cheap wig. And this one, look, has an awful hairline. You can tell if you wear wigs, then you know why I've done this. But nevertheless, let's get into this shady video. I've brought out the shade fan, the good old OG that's like falling apart backwards on itself now because it's so old and so used from all of these influencers being shady to each other. And you know what, they haven't stopped, they haven't got any better. So I think we're gonna crack on, my loves. First thing we're gonna get into is gonna be Kofi. Now, Drag Race, Kofi, she won season 2 of UK versus the World. If you guys remember, if you watch Drag Race, Tia won season 2 UK versus the World RuPaul's Drag Race, and Tia spoke out recently on TikTok and Instagram about losing followers due to her posting about trans rights and posting about being the first POC UK Drag Race versus the World winner.
Hello, I look a mess. I just wanted to jump on really quickly to point out that I lost a significant number of followers when I posted this on my grid on Instagram. And I've also received comments like this when talking about being the first person of colour to win Drag Race in the UK franchises. And I just want to say, if talking about diversity, representation and inclusion offends you, unfollow me now. Unfollow me now. Just go have a nice Christmas, but you want nothing to do with me if that is upsetting to you, which it shouldn't be. Absolutely shouldn't be. If that is upsetting to you, please leave me alone. Go and have a nice Christmas, have a nice festive period, have a nice whatever holiday you are celebrating, even if you're just having a nice break, a non-denominational, lovely break. Go and have a nice one.
I was rooting for Tia. I was really rooting for Tia to win her season because when they called her Baroness Basic, that annoyed me. Like, I just wanted to see Tia get redemption for that, and she did. She did by winning UK versus the World too. So, but yeah, you know, she's right what she's saying. Like, you know, if it bothers you that she's talking about being inclusive, that she's talking about diversity and inclusion, then bye-bye. Something that I have actually noticed a bit myself as well is that when, you know, I make videos, for example, like I made a video talking about Heaven and about how there was an incident at Heaven nightclub and things going on there. Stuff like that on my channel here on YouTube, it's dead. It gets like no views. People don't want to watch it. They don't want to engage with it. So, you know, I can kind of understand where Tia's coming from because it is frustrating if you talk about something that matters to you and then the response is just like crickets. You know, that's something that I've noticed on social media a lot. You know, I do different kinds of content, you know, because my job, I work in beauty retail, so I'm in the kind of makeup beauty field, so I talk about those things, but I'm also a lesbian, so I also talk about other stuff. And it's like, when I talk about things related to the queer community, it's like, no views, you know, I know that. So yeah, you know, same kind of sentiment from me, I guess. If I talk about things that upset you or bother you, then yeah, bye-bye, you know. So I can understand where Tia's coming from when she's saying that. Now I am going to move on to some beauty drama. I don't know if I'd really even call it drama because it's just kind of really a conversation. So as I said, I do work in makeup retail and I have done for the last few years of my life as well. So when I see influencers and their behaviour and what's going on social media, you know, it does sometimes cause me to question things, you know. So when I see influencers try and have a conversation about some of these things, I want to get involved, you know. So I'm going to put up this clip of Jeffree Star on TikTok when somebody suggested to him to review P.Louise, the makeup brand P.Louise, hugely popular in the UK. She's got the whole P.Louise empire, all of that, you know, where you have like school trips boatloads of kids going in there to get their hands on the old bad bitch lip glosses and all of that. You know, so here's what Jeffree had to say when someone asked him to review her brand.
Oh, Kate, I'm okay. No, thank you. You can stop spamming the same comment though, Pookie.
Ready?
Thank you so much. No one cares about that brand.
So Jeffree being a little bit shady. What's new? Jeffree is shady about everybody's brand apart from his own. It seems, you know, he's gone for Trixie Mattel because she's got Trixie Cosmetics. He's gone for, like, who else did he go for? Kylie Jenner. He's gone for Jackie Aina. He's gone for, like, countless other beauty brands in the past. So I'm not surprised to see Jeffree being shady towards another brand, especially one that's owned by a woman. And I'm also going to put some footage in here from Robert Welsh's latest YouTube video. Robert Welsh is someone that I do watch very often on YouTube because his content is interesting to me. As I said, being someone who does work in the beauty field, you know, it's nice to watch Robert's content because he's an actual trained makeup artist. You know, he's somebody who's been working out in the world as a makeup artist doing bridal clients, etc., etc. You know, so he's somebody whose opinion that I respect. And Robert was recently talking about things that he didn't want to see in the beauty space next year, 2025.
So I want to go through some things that I don't want to see next year from brands, from influencers, from beauty, social media in general. Let me know what is kind of getting on your nerves a little bit in the comments. Let's all just relate to each other. I have a whole list. My top one, what I don't want to see next year is brands doing these mega TikTok lives, right? So if you're not familiar with this, brands would go into TikTok and be like, we're doing a 50, oh my gosh, eyeshadow on a white. A 50-hour live stream, and then they celebrate at the end when they've made like $1 million or £1 million.
Straight away, off the top of my head here, before Robert goes any further, I'm going to kind of interject a little bit. Straight away, the brands that I think he could be referring to, well, it could be like a lot of them, because there's a lot of brands who go on TikTok and do these long lives. But the main ones that I've seen this year, 2024, has been P.Louise. It's been like Made by Mitchell, who I actually really like that brand, Made by Mitchell. You know, and P.Louise, I used to buy like the, oh, she drops it. I used to buy the eyeshadow bases from them a long time ago, but I honestly haven't bought anything from P.Louise recently because I feel like their brand's gone very kind of childish. And, you know, although I like brands like Trixie Mattel's brand with the kind of fun packaging that's like heart-shaped and stuff like this and pink, I feel like P.Louise's brand, for me, it doesn't like appeal to me anymore. And the way that like her marketing is and all of the extreme screamy shouty live TikToks, I know do put some people off as well. That's something that I've seen people discussing on social media, like saying about, oh, her brand's a pink cult, a baby pink cult and all of this. I've seen people really talking negatively about the customer service on P.Louise as well. That's something that I've seen like over and over again on my For You page with TikTok. It's been a hell of a lot of complaints about P.Louise and their customer service during these TikTok lives that they do, which are like the 12-hour marathon lives or even longer ones sometimes. On that note, speaking of P.Louise, P.Louise, the brand, they actually came off selling on TikTok Shop. And again, that was something that people were talking about on TikTok. Where have they gone? Why are they not on TikTok Shop anymore? Some people said it was due to the volume of orders that they had, but some people were actually saying it was because that she got a lot of complaints and that people were sending like completely unrelated items back to P.Louise to try and get refunds, which that's shady, you know. But like I said, I've seen a lot of complaints and a lot of controversy surrounding the P.Louise brand. So I don't know, maybe they're trying to like rebrand for 2025. I don't know. Who knows? To me, this whole thing with the TikTok lives where you've got like brands and people from brands, you know, really pushing like the hard sell, it is a bit kind of used car salesman to me. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but it is a bit kind of like stack them up, sell them cheap kind of thing, you know. It doesn't feel You know, it doesn't feel like you're kind of shopping for beauty products, really, to me. It feels like, I don't know, how would I describe it? Like I said, I guess like stack them up high, sell them cheap. You know, it feels like almost like you're in a marketplace, you know. It doesn't feel like you're shopping for like kind of expensive beauty items, which P.Louise, Made by Mitchell, you know, they're not cheap brands, but it does kind of give me fast fashion of beauty vibe. And something that I'll say on that, fast fashion of beauty, I guess that is really what it is, because if you look at where a lot of the products are made, I'm going to tell you that you will see a lot of them, P.Louise, Made by Mitchell, whoever, a lot of them say made in China on them. Now, working in beauty, I know that the good laboratories for cosmetics are in Europe. They are like France, Italy. Italy's a big one. So when you're getting a lot of products that are made in China, they're not the absolute best ingredients. They're not the worst. You know, I'm not trying to say that it's horrible makeup or anything like that, because as I said, I actually really like Made by Mitchell's brand, and a lot of his products are made in China. But there's good and there's bad, you know, so be careful, be a little bit wary about the cosmetics that you're actually buying. You know, there's areas in China where they still test on animals.
And it's not like the smaller businesses, like you go, the ones that already are multi-million pound or multi-million dollar businesses being like, guys, we made $1 million on our live stream. It's like, okay, good for you. Some people are living off noodles on minimum wage. Like you're a multi-million dollar business. Just because you did a live stream for 20 hours and made $1 million, why am I celebrating that with you? Why are we celebrating this like it's some crazy thing that no one was expecting? You probably make that in a day anyway. And it's just become this trend. I just think it's really a really strange trend for a brand to be like, we're going on TikTok live and we want to see how much money we can make. I just think it's really, really weird. And that's kind of TikTok's like thing anyway, isn't it? Like people going, it's like, let's battle and try and make the most money and try and get the most gifts. It's a really strange concept, but for brands to do it, I think it's kind of out of touch. We're aware you make money, but to be like, hey guys, help us reach this goal of $1 million whatever, I just think it's slightly unusual. Like imagine like, for example, imagine if like a brand like L'Oreal got on TikTok and was like, guys, we desperately want to make 100,000 by the end of this thing. Not for charity, just because that's their goal. Why would it be like, yeah guys, let's all band together and help L'Oreal make $100,000 when they're probably doing that already in a day? It's just a really strange concept, and I just think a really out of touch trend, like kind of not out of touch as in like old fashioned, but out of touch as in the way the world is at the moment. It's not the best thing to be doing. Like imagine if an influencer, imagine if I got on TikTok live and was like, guys, I really want to make 10,000 pounds by the end of this month. It would be like, why? But why? It's a very strange marketing thing. I just think it's really, really weird. And I just don't want to see it anymore.
And that's the other thing. In the world that we're living in today, when you've got brands on TikTok basically pushing, selling these products, basically, you know, telling customers that these deals are too good to refuse, they're never going to get it for these prices again, and all of this. When you've got brands doing that in the world that we live in today, with what's happening in Palestine, you know, everything that is actually going on in the world, it's like there are other causes that need resources and money much more than a beauty brand that's raking in millions from doing all these lives on TikTok. Sorry. You know, and yes, I work in the beauty industry. Yes, I sell makeup products, but it's not at the same rate that these brands are pushing out products on TikTok. You know, I work in a store. It's different environment. You know, I work somewhere where I'm one-on-one most of the time with a customer, helping them, advising them individually, not like, oh my God, this is the latest must-have product, you've got to have this. It's very different.
Next up is the influencer trend, content trend of, wow guys, I've been away for a week and look at all this PR I've got. And then they like pile it up behind them and open it up. There's something about being an influencer, right, where I think you need to be careful. There's a borderline of being grateful, and then there's a borderline of showing off. And I think if you're to sit there and say, I've been away for a week with a wall of boxes behind you, and it's like, look how much PR I got, and it's only been a week. Again, I think it's another thing of like, the people who watch your content put you in that position to be able to get all this PR, but they're the reason why you got all this PR. So to be like, oh, it's all me. This is just me getting all this PR. I can't believe it. And it's only been a week and I have all these. It's really, really strange. First of all, I wouldn't dream of doing that. Yes, I get, you know, PR. I'm on PR list. And if I do go away for a week, there's a lot to come back to. But I just think it's a bit braggy. I just think it's a little bit unusual to do. And the reason I say this is because sometimes when I talk about things like this, like, brands that do things, brand trips, for example, a lot of the feedback from people is they wish brands would give their customers, their loyal customers, opportunities that influencers may get over them. Brand trips, PR, all this kind of stuff. So to be an influencer and to post like, wow, look at all this PR I've got. And I think that's why I would feel uncomfortable bragging about my PR and putting a time frame on it. It's only been a week and look at this. It's like, okay, great. Now what? Now what do your audience do with that information? It's a whole like, wow, being an influencer is so crazy. Look at this PR. It's like, we know. People know you get PR. And a lot of people actually think PR is wasteful. And a lot of people don't think you deserve that PR, whether they follow you or not. It's just to influence the world we live in. So I do think it's a little bit tone deaf. I think it's a little bit tone deaf.
I really love what Robert said here, because if you think about beauty brands, you know, who've got like millions of followers and, you know, they push out the content with influencers who have got all their products for free. Yes, I agree with Robert. Like, customers often do feel that they should get the rewards because at the end of the day, they're the ones who spend their hard-earned money on the brand's products. So to me, it's kind of twisted, kind of dystopian almost, when influencers are getting huge amounts of product in huge wasteful packaging just for showing it on a video online. Which on YouTube, people don't really even watch content anymore. You know, beauty related content, the views have gone way down. So it's TikTok, you know, TikTok where people are going viral and a lot more people are being influenced on TikTok. So I don't know. However, the other day I did see Laura Lee do a huge PR unboxing video where she had like a wall of cardboard boxes behind her that was all PR. Like, it's excessive, it's wasteful, you know, let's call it what it is, you know, really. Do you need to send an influencer 50 shades of one thing? No, you don't. You know, you don't need to send an influencer 50 shades of your newest foundation or concealer. You can ask them what sort of shades they wear. You can find out what their shade match would be. You could send them sample sizes even to cut down on like waste and packaging. You don't need to send them like 50 full-size foundations, you know? Don't mind me, I'm chucking stuff all over my desk here. But you know what I'm saying. You don't need to send them 50 big glass bottles of foundation. You don't need to send them 41 full-size lipsticks. You know, you could send them trial sizes, for example, to swatch and to show their audience. You don't need to do it everything full-size in all these huge, wasteful packages. Am I right or am I right? I think I'm right. Okay, you gorgeous people, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's been a much longer one today, but yeah, there were things that I kind of wanted to get into a little bit. So, enough from me, I think, on this one. You don't want to be watching an hour's worth of me prattling on. Love you so much anyway. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I doubt anyone has, but if you have, thank you, you're my people. Anyway, take care and I will see you soon on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.